Hi. So right now I have these two old planners that I want to turn into notebooks. So this one, the reason why I even started thinking about this is because I have this one and it's kind of a faux leather material, so I thought it was pretty nice. So I wanted to reuse this. So I'm going to try to turn this into a notebook first, and then from there I might turn this into a Tomoe River notebook. So I'm just going to start by basically gutting the inside. And I'm assuming that you probably won't be doing this with a spiral notebook. So let me just show you what I did to this. Technically, you could cut out this whole area. As you can see here, there's a gap. So you can just cut this entire area out. The only reason why I left this spine is because I wanted to keep this ribbon in. So I'm just gonna use the insert as a guideline of where I want it to sit, because I have to leave some space between the page and this part. I want the notebook to kind of sit like this so that I can actually bind the binding to this these holes. So first, I'm just gonna take the paper that I have. This is actually 5-star paper because I've tested it out and it works really well with fountain pens, which is the medium that I normally use. As you can see here, there's no feathering, there's some shading here, and there's no bleed through, there's just a little ghosting. So I actually changed my mind about the paper that I'm using, but I'm honestly doing the exact same thing. So I'm folding it this way, and I'm not folding it in half this time. I'm folding it with space because there's plastic lining the holes in this paper. So all I'm doing is lining it up with the end of the plastic and then folding it down like this. So let me show you what that looks like. It's just like this. I'm still doing it with 3 sheets, and then after I finish folding all of them, I'm gonna cut them out. I just wanted to show you real quick how I flatten it down, and this is really important to do when you're binding a notebook so that it will actually lay flat and you won't have any issues with it popping open. So I'm just using the edge of my scissors. You could also use a metal ruler or anything like that. Basically, all you want to do is just push it down. So I just folded a couple of sheets first, and then I'm going to mark out where I want the sheet to end. I want to keep where I fold them in half because that's how I'm going to stitch the actual notebook. So I'm gonna line it up with that and just mark off where I want it to end. I'm just gonna do a few at a time, and I do feel super guilty about all of this scrap paper, so I'm honestly just gonna save it and just use it for different things. So then I'm just gonna insert it and then make sure that it's lined up straight. Going to cut it. So I think that looks pretty good. Let me match it up to this again just to make sure. And that looks pretty good to me. And you do want to make this as precise as possible so that your notebook will actually look uniform. And I'm just going to continue to do this until I have all the pieces cut out, and I will meet you back. So I cut some of these out already, so let me just show you what they will look like. So basically that's what it's going to look like when you're writing in the notebook. I'm just going to ignore these red lines, and then as you can see, the next side has them in a different place. So if you don't like that, then you might not want to do this with lined paper, but I don't really mind that. I do want to experiment with bringing it around and just jotting down any random thoughts. So I am okay with how this will be. Now I have all of my sections. So now we're gonna go get into actually sewing this. This part you need something to poke the sutures into. So it would be a lot better if you had an awl, I think it's called. If you have something that you can lay all of them together and poke them together, but since I don't have anything, I'm just going to use this thumbtack and just go through all of them. I'm going to line them together. So I'm just going to do 4 of them. From there, I'm just going to go through and poke a hole so that it's easier to sew through. I'm going to be doing a kettle stitch because I want this to be a lay flat notebook. I'm not going to go into too much detail because there are other tutorials on how to do a kettle stitch, so I'm just going to let you guys watch as I do this. It's really simple. Basically, I honestly don't even know if I'm doing the kettle stitch per se, but all I'm doing is going through all the holes. So right now I'm actually going back through it, and as you can see, I'm on the 4th stitch. So all you have to do is go back through the things that you've done and then just sew back through the holes. And then since I'm in the inside right now, all I have to do is go back outside and then sew through that. So let me show you the last one. I wanted to kind of get the hang of it since this is the first time that I've ever done it. So since this is right here, I'm going to be starting on the inside. And you alternate this. So you start on the inside, then just sew back and forth like this. And then once you are done with going back and forth for that stitch, then what you do is you go back through all of these, and then you go inside back through the holes where you've stitched before previously and back through. So all you have to do when you run out of string is just make a little knot and then just restart where you left off. So as you can see, my stitching definitely isn't great. It's pretty unsightly, but if you are trying to do a hardcover, then it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna clean up some of the threads. There is your lay flat notebook. So I definitely didn't do the best job stitching. I'm not great at that, but as you can see, it worked. Since I don't really like the way that looks, it's functional, but it's just not pretty. So I was thinking I might try to actually cut off this area and then just have the hardcover and then glue this to the hardcover and to the first page and see how that goes. I'm just gonna see, since this is actually cardboard. Okay. Definitely does cut. Don't really like how you can see the indents still, so I'm going to try to get rid of that. As you can see, there's some rough areas. I'm just going to smooth that down a little bit, but then that is perfect. I'm just going to do that to this as well. There it is. I think that's really cute. I think that looks great. So I'm just going to glue this where I want it to go. And this is a thicker cardstock. I'm honestly just gonna glue it and then cut it out. I wish I had liquid glue, but I don't. So this is just gonna have to do for now. And then once I have liquid glue, I will fix it if I need to. Hopefully I won't. But I would definitely recommend using liquid glue because that would just probably stick better. And then just lay that flat. So I'm happy with that. First, I'm going to cut the top off. Maybe I should have cut this first. But honestly, that's okay. I can just use scissors. I don't mind. Okay. I'm just gonna leave this on and glue this first, and then I'll worry about making it look good. As you can see, we created a whole spine, and it is perfect. I am quite satisfied with that. So now I'm just going to cut off. So now we have our lay flat notebook, and we have our spine, and now all we have to do is just put it together. If you don't have anything, a hardback or anything like that, you could have just stopped at this, but since I do, I'm going to go ahead and attach this together as well. And honestly, all I'm gonna do for that is just glue it together. As I said, use a stronger glue for this than a glue stick. I'm just going to lay it flat like this. Also, make sure you're paying attention to which page you want to be in the front and which page you want to be in the back. If you have the bone folder, this would be a great time to bring that back out as well. Wow, okay, that looks not bad. Then I'm going to finish up this side. And there you have it. A nice lay flat notebook. And you don't have to be great at stitching. So this doesn't look the best to me. I might do something to remedy that later, and that will be an easy fix. What I've seen people do is they will just take something like this, fold it over, and then boom, they have the problem fixed. Honestly, when you're looking at it straight on, there's not really a problem with that, so I don't really know if I will change that. These were some stickers that I got from AliExpress. I think I'm gonna go with this sticker. That was quite the journey, but I think that was totally worth it. That was pretty fun, even though it took me a while, I'm not going to lie. But I am pretty satisfied with the end result. I think that looks pretty good, especially for my first try, and I really like that it lays flat. So yeah, I'm very happy with this. I hope that this video helped you a little bit, or at least was enjoyable to watch. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked, please give me a like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Have a great day.